The following is a segment from Session 10 of the Honestly Better Mental Fitness Show. If you would like a list of all the segments and the full sessions, please visit honestlybetterfitness.com/list. That's honestlybetterfitness.com/list.
Welcome to LH Industrial, Honestly Better Mental Fitness. I found mental fitness a few years ago, and it changed my life. It's changed my family's life. And now we're bringing it to all of LH Industrial to put it out to the rest of the world. Thank you for joining us.
The Gottmans, I can't remember their first names at the moment, are a husband and wife couple out of UW that have done research on couples, and they have the Love Lab that a lot of research has come out about what makes and breaks relationships in here. And they are able to record videos of people in conflict and tell with I think they had a 96% accuracy, whether the couple would still be together in 3 years. And they called it basically the Four Horsemen of, the Four Horsemen of the apocalypse. And if they saw these things coming up in a couple discussing it, it was usually a sign that things weren't good. So it's going to be something that we all do, but I'm going to bring them in each here kind of one by one and allow you to sit with it to see which is the one that you do most that you could let go of and find a different way where it comes from. So the first is criticism. And so this would look like, instead of addressing an issue of oh, hey, you forgot to do XYZ thing today. Would you, that you said you would, and we agreed together, would you go do that? Or would you be able to get that done? So this is addressing the problem versus I told you to do this, getting personal about it. Maybe it's criticizing them and saying, you never do this, or let me give a better example. Maybe it's taking out the garbage or something like that. And it's instead of the person letting them know that the garbage wasn't taken out and the kind of stress it's caused you, you criticize them and tell them, say how forgetful they are or how lazy they are or how they don't care about you. And it's clear because of that. So you're starting to criticize the person and instead of addressing the problem. Defensiveness is the second one. You could also think of it as excuse making. So it's an example here of the trash. It's you bring up all these excuses about why you didn't do the trash. You become defensive. And that defensive may be, well, you didn't do this thing that I asked you to do. Or this thing over here, you start bringing up other things to defend yourself. And a lot of times it's in reaction to criticism. But it's also equally unhelpful, toxic, because it's not acknowledging the truth of what happened. You're right. I told you I would take out the trash, and I didn't. And I understand how that messed up your day today. And how about I go take care of that now? Or, you know what? I do forget a lot. Could you remind me each day? Or let's put a note on the refrigerator so I'll remember. So focusing on the problem and solving the problem versus defending your own self in this moment. Defensiveness also comes from there's a bit of a victim mentality that comes up, but I think we'll address that later. The third horseman, so we got criticism, defensiveness, stonewalling. That's essentially ignoring the person. Whatever. Yeah. Oh, that thing again. And you stonewall them. You ignore them. You don't show any signs of hearing or reciprocation or listening in with them. You just put up a wall and you walk away, and you blank out, or maybe you don't walk away, but they're yelling and they're saying whatever they're saying, and then you're done and you ask them if they're done, and then you move on. You just put up this wall of ice. You go cold in between. So that's another one that when we're engaging in that, all of these are signs of inability to deal with the conflict, to get to the root of what is the actual conflict. And the last one is contempt, which is maybe one of the most difficult when it's become so deep-seated that you have disgust. Contempt is very much related to that. The other person's behavior disgusts you. And when you get to this place, it becomes really hard to get out of. It usually doesn't happen with a singular incident. It's all this accumulation of small daily stuff that builds up in here. I do want to bring in, while we're in conflict for a moment, solvable versus unsolvable things. Solve the solvable things, and we'll talk about the unsolvable things. This might be solvable things, requests that are easily done, or bids of affection, or needs of your partner that can be addressed. Unsolvable might be one of you loves loud music in the morning and the other loves quiet. One of you loves to go out every evening, the other loves to stay home. There are issues that are unsolvable. And by saying unsolvable, it doesn't mean that you can't find a compromise between there. But it is something that is not likely to change within the relationship. And we'll dive into more about that, the core fundamental personality types. But I think the main thing to get for now is it's not about, it's about how you resolve the conflict is more important than what the conflict is about. Not what you say, but it's how you say it. It's about the emotional environment that's created around the topic, not even necessarily the topic.